Hello, I'm Jane Applegate, financial journalist and author. I'm here with Emma Davidson. She's the director and CEO of Affinity Capital based in London. She started her own firm in 2011. She's an expert on derivatives and serves both individual and institutional investors. What prompted you to leave your job at Citigroup?
Well, gosh, it's a great question. I think the truth is I had spent, at that point, by the time I actually ended up resigning from Citigroup, I'd spent 12 years on trading floors of different investment banks. And while I loved my time at investment banking on the trading floors and learning from the various people there, to my mind, it came to a point where I just knew I wanted to do something on my own. I wanted to be independent. And so I set up on my own in 2011.
You've told me that your company serves an interesting mix of individuals and institutions. Tell me how that works.
For me specifically, I think I've always been quite values-based. It's probably got a lot to do with my childhood and how I was brought up. And I think because of that, I ended up building a network of clients over my entire investment banking career of 12 years that was almost a kind of mixed bag of clients. And when I ended up leaving investment banking, it was the ones that I suppose I truly liked that reached out to me and said, you know, we'd like to work with you even though you're independent now, much smaller. And that is kind of what motivated the boutique approach. Emily and I, we talk about how we do really have a completely diverse group of clients. We don't focus on a particular area. We just have very different clients in their own rights, and that kind of keeps it interesting, to be honest.
That's great. And we all know that women make most of the financial decisions globally, at home and at work, but so many seem very puzzled about investment decisions. So what can be done about that?
It's a great point, and I think actually it was made even stronger this morning at the Enterprising Women honorary breakfast, that women are making an increasing amount of decisions in the general household. When it comes to financial decisions, I think that, you know, it's something that is happening for sure. And I'm really excited because when I travel to different parts of the world, I do notice that more and more women are coming to the conferences, are coming to listen to me speak. You know, I had an incredible example where I was in Harare in Zimbabwe, and this woman stood up at the end of the conference and she just turned around and said, I was really nervous about coming today, but my husband couldn't make it and he asked if I could come, and I just wanted to say thank you so much. It was so great to hear from a woman's perspective. So I think as more women kind of come into the industry and promote that collaboration approach, I think that more and more will take the reins. But I think, you know, for me as well, one of the things that I don't always like to do is I don't like to too much make it a man-woman thing. I personally am really excited about the fact that men and women together can be empowered to take care of the finances. And I think this is a great thing for men as well, because so often they've been the ones that everybody looks to as the primary breadwinner, and they've always had all that responsibility on themselves. Whereas I think now we're moving into a world where the responsibility is shared, and it makes for a much bigger partnership and a stronger approach to most of life's big decisions.
And on that topic, how has it been for you as a young woman in a male-dominated financial industry? Have you had personal challenges?
Oh, wow. Many. And I think as I get older, I always try to remember the positives. And there are many positives and many negatives as well. I think that when you're novel and when it is so male-dominated, it can be difficult, you know. And I think that it's also about me finding my voice. You know, I think I was quite difficult at times as well, where you know, there's that kind of classic example where a woman who is strong, opinionated, and fights for her team is kind of considered annoying and bitchy, whereas a man who does the same is strong. And I think I probably didn't always get that balance right. So there have been ups and downs, and it's been fun, but in general, I really like working with men. And I think that's probably because that's all I've ever known. even now, 16 years into my career, and even now the amount of women is still quite restricted. So hence why Affinity Capital have decided to get more involved in promoting women, getting involved with mentoring and helping. So.
Right. Emma, you told me before that you're in a position now to do more community service. What are you planning to do?
Well, I think for me, in the last couple of years, I did a project where I worked in sub-Saharan Africa with a really inspiring group of young entrepreneurs. And for me, it just kind of really solidified that there's a lot of value that we can give back as a company. And yes, of course, it's always important to focus on clients and growing your business. But we're at a point now where our business has really done well. We're self-sufficient, and there is a way for us to give back, then we should do that. And I'm inspired by the young people coming up through the ranks, specifically with women as well. I think it's something that we can get involved in and we can share. We're sharing actually later this month an event that's happening for women getting into the workforce, getting back. I think the theme of the presentation is just let's go for it, Don't be afraid to go for it. But working with entrepreneurs is just something that I truly believe in, and I think that it can truly drive the global economy. So yeah, excited.
Terrific. And finally, what's ahead for Affinity Capital? What are your plans for the future?
We're not scaling our business. That's the first thing to say. We are a small company that is relying heavily on technology. We've built a huge fintech solution which takes care of the administration process of one of our businesses, which we're very excited about. And I think we take more of the approach of how can we get technology involved in our company so that we don't need as many people. And the main reason for that is I'm simply not that good at managing people. And I think it's always been something that I realized I didn't really want to do. But I do work with two incredible women who really are inspiring to me. And I think what we've agreed this year is to focus on women in business, to focus on entrepreneurs. We do quite a lot of work with charity work. And it's something just in terms of giving back, how can we share our knowledge and share our experience to further promote the lives of others? Because to my mind, that is truly what will count in the end. So yeah, we're looking forward to a year of giving back and getting involved more in the community.
Terrific. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Absolute pleasure.